Welcome back and Happy New Year to everyone who has tuned in. Um, Sorry it's been a while, but now it's slowing down. It's winter, so there are less people moving in and out. And I decided to make a video to my faithful listeners and subscribers. And I just want to thank you for hanging with me. Even though I haven't made a video in a while, I apologize, but you got to get the money while it's there. Here we are doing a kitchen counter. This is also a housing authority apartment, and it's just a basic kitchen. I have a flat rate, and this is why there's a lot of damage to this kitchen countertop. So they don't try to beautify their apartments. It is a housing authority, but when this is done, it won't pass the inspection. So that's why I'm doing it. Now, this video is for all you guys and girls who have a New Year's resolution to start their own business, and you're considering this. I want to thank you for considering it. I love doing this work. It's fun, and there's nothing better than refinishing a countertop. I've said it before. The customer loves the work, and there's nothing better. Like somebody sees what you did, and they're just so happy that you were there, and they thank you, like you saved their life. Anyway, where was I? So in this video, I'm going to talk about what would I do if I started from scratch. And I would say take some notes and let's get started. The first thing I would do is I would get a vehicle. If you don't have a vehicle, you're going to have a hard time doing this kind of work. I can't even imagine not doing it. And I've done this with the Toyota Corolla, so you don't need anything big. Everything pretty much fit in the trunk, mostly everything. And the paint was in a milk crate. I usually kept it up front on the floor of the passenger side. Second, I would find an insurance company that does regular and commercial insurance. Somebody who handles contractors, but just get your basic insurance for your vehicle. And then later on, you'll upgrade. But for now, just get the regular insurance that you need, because who knows from this point to, from getting your insurance to getting your first contract, how long that's going to take. And if it takes you 2 months because you have a regular job, whatever, and you're moving pretty slow, you don't want to pay for all that extra insurance for no reason. So with that being said, just get your regular insurance. And the next thing you're going to do is get your business license and tax ID number. Because if you don't have a tax ID number, you have to use your Social Security, and you just don't want that information out there. And it looks really unprofessional if you don't have a tax ID number. You get your LLC. Next thing, I would purchase my equipment, my tools, and all my supplies. And you've seen my supply list. I actually have a video on my supply list. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, I would find a good, reputable refinishing manufacturer and get myself some paint. Make sure that manufacturer sells etch for tubs. I don't trust this fake wipe-on no etch system, so that's just me. You might want to try that. Don't do that from the beginning as a newbie. If you want to do it later on, once you get more experience, that's one thing, but don't do that as a newbie. Etch your tubs before you spray them. So next thing is purchase QuickBooks. Now, you want to make a clean, professional looking invoice, and QuickBooks is the way to do it. It's a little bit of money. I mean, I think it's like a $250. You don't need the online and pay monthly for the online service. You just get the flat, you get the QuickBooks program, and that's it. Like, I don't do anything online like that with QuickBooks. I don't need my information to be out there. It's on my my desktop, and that's it. Next thing is make a professional looking, but kind of basic price list. You have all your price lists on all the jobs and what they cost, the kitchen, the tubs, the tub and surrounds, the full bathrooms, things like that. And with your heading and logo, put your logo in there, and also put all your information, like your phone number, your email address, and whatnot. Get some business cards. That's the next thing. 100, 250. You don't need 500 business cards. With 250 business cards, you'll be good. And I mean, you're gonna hand out business cards, but don't be so eager to hand it just to anybody, because usually it's gonna go in somebody's wallet and they might use the back of it to write somebody else's number. It's just, I never gotten that much business from just handing out business cards. When you do your price list, use a paper that has an odd color. Don't use just regular white paper. And I'll tell you why. So when I first did this, I went to FedEx Kinko's and I did my price list real nice, plain, simple, easy to read, and all flat rates on everything. And then I asked for a specific, like, I want to say it was like a fluorescent blue paper. And it's a little bit of thicker paper too, not a cardstock, but a little bit thicker than normal paper. And then I stapled my business cards to that. What happened was, a couple times, actually more than a couple times, in the past 6 years, 7 years, somebody ripped the business card off and stuck it somewhere, and then placed the price list somewhere else. Now, they lost a business card, but they had the price list, and they all remembered the price list because of the color. So it was easier to find in the paperwork, their paperwork. So just remember that. That's a good food for thought there. And then after you get all that, you get your insurance, your liability insurance, general liability, your workman's comp, and your commercial insurance for your car. Because some places, they have their own roads, and they're going to want you to have special insurance for your car. Because you might not be parking on the street. You might be parking in their property with their own roads away from the city. You know, it's just private roads on their property. And I do have a few properties that you pull in and that's all them, and they want you to have a separate insurance, because God forbid you back up into some kid who's running around on the property. You know, they want to be covered. They want to know that you're covered. So just so I want you guys to remember that. And then after that, I have other videos on it, on how to do it. Just go out and not necessarily sell your work. You go to an apartment complex that you think you might like to work. If it's too nice, it's going to be a headache, and you don't want to start off with a really dangerous or really bad area. Just kind of, if you were to grade them A, B, and C, like a B property. Working class people, fairly decent, you know, area, not too far. Driving is a big thing. You don't want to take an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to a giant property unless they're going to give you crazy mad work, because it kind of stinks to drive out there and find out that you can't do the work that day and you have to drive back. Man, there ain't nothing worse than that. But besides that, good luck to y'all. I'm going to try and make some more videos. Looks like I'm done here with that kitchen counter. I hope that if you take that advice, I hope it made a lot of sense. If you guys have any questions, please post them up there. That I can do quickly. I can answer questions as quick as I can. If I don't answer the question, it's because it's not an appropriate question. I know people want my number. They want me to do work for them. And I have my contracts. I can't even take any more work. If I could, I would use that time to make more videos for my subscribers. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was very informative. And I'm going to try and get to making another video. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it.